What's up, guys? My name is Icelo Nomdleche. I'm currently doing my practicals with Trifocus Fitness Academy, and I'm about to take you guys through 12 exercises with my client, and then I hope you guys will love it and enjoy it. Don't forget, keep on learning.
Work it, make it, do it, make sense. Harder, better, faster, stronger. More than power, never. Ever after work is over. Harder, better, faster, stronger. Work it harder, make it better, do it faster, makes us stronger. More than ever, hour after hour, work is never over. Work it harder, make it better, do it faster, makes us stronger. More than ever, hour after hour, work is never over. Work it harder, make it better, do it faster, makes us stronger. More than ever, hour after hour, work is never over. Work it harder, make it better, do it faster, makes us stronger. More than ever, hour after hour, work is never over. Work it harder, make it better, do it faster, makes us stronger. Work it never over. Work it harder, make it better, do it faster, makes us stronger. More than ever, hour after hour, work is never over. Work it, make it, do it, make sense. Harder, better, faster, stronger. Harder, better, faster, stronger. Work it harder, make it better, do it faster, makes us stronger. More than ever, hour after hour, work is never over. Work it harder, make it better, do it faster, makes us stronger. More than ever, hour after hour, work is never over. Work it harder, make it better, do it faster, makes us stronger. More than ever, hour after hour, work is never over. Work it harder, make it better, do it faster, makes us stronger. More than ever, hour after hour, work is never over. Work it harder, make it better, do it faster, makes us stronger. Work it never over. Work it harder, make it better, do it faster, makes us stronger. More than ever, hour after hour, work is never over. Work it harder, do it faster. More than ever, our work is never over. Work it harder, make it better, do it faster, makes us stronger. More than ever, hour after hour, work is never over.
And got so far, but in the end, it doesn't even matter. I had to fall to lose it all, but in the end, it doesn't even matter. I tried so hard and got so far, but in
women gyrating, simulating sensual acts, stimulating musical tracks. I thought I was just gonna come out tonight and get a brew and relax, but no, when you the party starter, it's like you on call, you what the doctor ordered. It's like you gotta block the border to the door and shock them when it's boring. Get on the floor. It's the groove aside bomber. Might get my vest tight, strapped to my chest like I'ma run up in the party, holler and be like, oh, fulfilling my calling. Big Will, that's my name. Writing rhymes, that's my game. Ask me again and I'll tell you the same.
Alright guys, so let's do the dynamic stretching with the arm circle. So we'll be doing from the small arm circles to the big arm circles, back and forth. So we'll let the bull demonstrate how it's done. Alright, start small with the front.
When I be thugging till I die, till I die, till I die. Roll a club in the back, I'm smoking bud in the back. I'm waiting for niggas to trick, cause bitch I love and scrap. I went from rocks to Z's, writing raps and movies. I went from trusting these chicks, now they all wanna sue me. So roll a club in the back, I'm smoking bud in the back. I'm waiting for niggas to trick, cause bitch I love and scrap. I went from rocks to Z's, writing raps and movies. I went from trusting these chicks, now they all wanna sue me.
Alright, now let's go for the back.
In the place, everybody getting rainy. Punks better cuff your lady, can't nobody tame me. Blame me for keeping a running yard raining. Ladies used to hate me, now they coming up, they paying these. Girls on the job check, pocket full of socks, check. Got a fat notch, check. Something don't squat, yeah. Down, down for the block, yeah. Tryna be hot.
Relax. Alright, that's it guys. So that's how we get warmed up. Our back, our shoulders, our arm, and get ready for the workout. Alright guys, so now we're about to do the stretching, the dynamic stretching, right? Getting warmed up for the exercise that we're about to do. So the first warm-up exercise that we're about to do right now is called the Frankenstein walk. Alright, so I'll let the bull demonstrate it to you. Alright, so let's demonstrate this. You go that side and then you coming back, and then that's it. Alright, let's go. Alright, so this is for us to get warmed up and get ready for the exercise that we're about to do. Get your legs ready, be flexible, and maintain your balance. Alright guys, so the exercise that we are about to do right now is bent over lateral raises. So the muscle that we will be targeting with this exercise, it will be our posterior deltoid. So the joint involved in this exercise, it will be our shoulder joint. And a safety tip, it will be to monitor the posterior deltoid, keep knees slightly flexed, and keep abdominals engaged at all time, guys. So the movements in this exercise, it will be the transverse extension and the transverse flexion. So we will do 10 reps of this exercise with the bull right here. So let's begin. All right, slightly bend your knees. Okay, let's start. 1.
Yeah, let's go. I got it on the block, so see me bump it up, and I don't see no block, so try to top it off, and you can never stop me. No.
done. Alright, so as you can see, his knees were slightly bent, his chest was out, his spine was straight, keeping his back straight at all times. So when you perform the exercise, you can see the movement. He's not going all the way up with his shoulders, so the movement is well done. So this is how it's done, guys. Thank you.
When I go in the arena, make the ground shake, make the ground scream. Me feeling no enemy, bring the fire when I fight.
Okay guys, so we're about to demonstrate the dumbbell lateral raises. So the muscle that we will be targeting with this exercise, it will be the medial deltoid. So the joint involved, it will be the shoulder. So a safety tip, it will be trying not to lift the weight all the way up past our shoulder height. So we keep the weight in our shoulder height. So the bull will demonstrate this exercise by giving us 10 reps of his best with this exercise. Alright, let's do this guys. Alright, so as you see, the bull is having his arms beside him, like the dumbbells are right there beside him. So when you lift the weight, you will lift it this high. Alright, so he will give us 10 reps of this exercise. You can see his chest is out, his shoulders are well positioned. So alright, let's go for this. 10 reps, alright. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay guys, so as you noticed, the weight was always on his shoulder height, so he has to keep his abdominals engaged at all time when he performs this exercise, and he has to breathe. Alright, so you can't hold in your breath when you're trying to exercise, guys. So that's how it's done. Alright, so the exercise we'll be doing right now is one arm dumbbell rows. Right, so the muscle that we will be targeting with this exercise, it will be the latissimus dorsi, posterior deltoid, trapezius muscle, rhomboids, and bicep brachii. Right, so the joints involved in this exercise, it will be the elbow joint, the shoulder joint, and the scapula. So our safety tips, it will be keep the abdominals engaged at all times, right? Monitor the spine and the pelvis positioning when you're holding the bench and the weight. So what we're gonna be doing right now, it will be 10 reps of this exercise in both arms, right? So I'll let the bull do this for us, all right? Let's start. So put your knee, put your arm forward, forward, right? So start the weight. 10. Nice, easily. Alright guys, so you see the bull performing this exercise, and you don't see him letting the weight swing him around, right? So he's in control of the weight at all times. So he's checking his spine and his pelvis. So this is how it's done, guys. Stay safe.
Every time I come, a nigga gotta set it, then I gotta go, and then I gotta get it, then I gotta blow, and then I gotta shut it. Any little thing a nigga think that he be doing, cause it doesn't matter, cause I'm gonna.
Alright, the exercise we're about to do right now is overhead cable extension. So the muscle we'll be targeting with this exercise, it will be tricep brachii, the long head, short head, and the lateral head. So the joint involved in this exercise, it will be the elbow joint. So our safety tips, it will be to monitor the scapula and the elbow movement. So whenever I have to spot him, I'll spot at the bar, right? So the movement involved in this is extension and flexion of the elbow. So the muscle contraction involved, it will be eccentric muscle contraction when we're moving downward and concentric muscle contraction when we're moving upward. So we'll demonstrate by doing 10 reps of this exercise. All right, let's go. Okay, easy. All right, lean a bit forward.
Need to hear
Ready? 1, 2,
Need to hear
3, 4, 5,
Need to hear
6. Alright, so as you can see, he did it slowly and he tried his best to keep his back on the bench, right, while his head is in, and he doesn't let the weight move him back and forth, right? So you have to be in control of the weight at all means. So if you feel like you are unable to perform this exercise, maybe the weight is too heavy, you need to take the weight a little bit down because it might be too heavy for you and that might give you injuries. All right.
Remember back in the day when you taught me to live and I taught you to pray. We went in the battle together, no matter the weather, we never delayed. You gave me commands, I always obeyed. I never let you go astray. I never thought I'd see the day that you would come and just betray me. Sick of playing silly games, you never loved me anyway. You should not have let me get away, cause now I'm hunting for my prey. I'm bigger, I'm better, my mind is a weapon. I won't ever let up. You try to break me down and I'ma just get up. They ask me how I did it, I'ma just tell them I rose up. I'm a survivor. Fight for my life. Coming back stronger.
Alright, so the exercise that we are about to demonstrate right now is tricep pushdowns. So the muscle that we'll be targeting, it will be the tricep brachii, the lateral head, the long head, and the short head of the tricep. So the joint involved is the joint in isolation, the elbow joint. So the safety tips, it will be to keep the core, the abdominals engaged at all times and keep the elbows next to your body. All right. So the muscle contraction involved in this exercise, it will be eccentric muscle contraction when we're going up, the concentric muscle contraction when we're going down. All right, so we'll demonstrate this exercise by doing 10 reps. All right, so let's do this.
Catch my breath, and I know the weight of the world can crush my chest. I work till I'm dead. I work till I'm dead. I work till I'm dead. And then I'll do it all again. It's not because of that.
8,
It's not because of money. Works in my blood and I kill because I'm hungry.
10. All right. easily done. So you can see that whenever he's doing this exercise, his arms are right next to his body. And as he pushes up and down, he doesn't allow his elbow to be pulled forward or backwards for that matter. So this is how it's done, guys.
I'm the definition of underdog who relates, who people rooting for cause they see themselves in my face. Go toe to toe with my bait, driven to be the great number one, tree second place like I'm in a two-man race. This is David and Goliath, view me as a fly, smaller than horizon, but there's so many rivals, my son's in a body that can take half of those bodies and make a pile on top of the dead just to look a giant dead in his head. I break, I fall, I crawl, I carry so much weight that you'll probably never believe it. I fade, I fall, stand tall. Some dream of greatness while others stay awake to achieve it. I do this without no excuses. I just love winning less than I hate losing. I'm proving the rain through my era. So even if I die.
Okay guys, so the exercise that we will be demonstrating right now, it will be the barbell curls, right? So the muscle that we are trying to target with this exercise, it will be the bicep brachialis and brachioradialis. And the joint that is involved in this exercise, it will be the joint in isolation, the elbow joint. So the safety tips on this one, it will be to monitor the spine, the way he's standing, and the shoulder and the elbow movement, right? So the muscle contraction involved in this exercise, it will be the eccentric muscle contraction when he's going down and the concentric muscle contraction when he's moving up, right? So I will let the bull demonstrate 10 reps of this exercise. All right, so let's get it. All right, stand up straight, chest out as always, keep your arms beside your body and give us 10. 1.
You have one shot on stage, what you got to play? Generic drops for days, still the people rage. Am I not insane? Can you stop and explain why these drops are so lame? Is money buying you fame? I'm fucking on, I'm killing it with this song. You haters can sing along or go back where you belong. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with giving up, moving on. Cause I took your girl to prom, she can't help but sing this song. Comes off till the lights go out, till my legs give out. Can't shut my mouth till the smoke.
Nice. Alright, put it down. Alright, so you noticed guys that whenever he's doing this exercise, he does not run through the exercise. So he controls the bar, he controls the weight by all means. So he doesn't move back and forth using momentum to do this exercise. So he keeps his arms beside his body and be in control of the weight at all times. Alright guys, this is how it's done.
There's a million other people with the same stuff. You really think you're different? Man, you must be kidding. Think you're gonna hit it, but you just don't get it. It's impossible. It's not probable. You're irresponsible. Too many obstacles. You gotta stop it, yo. You gotta take it slow. You can't be a pro. Don't waste your time no more. Who the fuck are you to tell me what to do? I don't give a damn if you say you disapprove. I'm gonna make my move. I'm gonna make it soon. And I'll do it cause it's what I wanna fucking do. Cause all these opinions and all these positions, they come in millions. They blocking your vision. But no, you can't listen. That shit is all fiction. Cause you hold the power as long as you're trying to make it. There's no way that you make it. And maybe you could fake it, but you're never gonna make it. Aren't you just gonna take that? Make them take it all back.
Alright guys, so the exercise that we are about to demonstrate right now, it will be incline bench press. So the muscle that we will be trying to target with this exercise, it will be the pectoralis minor, the anterior deltoids, the serratus anterior, and tricep brachii. Yes. So the joints involved in this exercise, it will be the shoulder joint, the scapula, and the elbow joint. So our safety tip, it will be to monitor the spine, lie flush on the bench, and retract his scapulars. So I will have the bull demonstrating this exercise by giving us 10 reps of this exercise. Alright, let's start with this. Alright, so let's begin. Okay, easy. Alright, let's go.
Who will you fucking fight?
that was it, guys. So as you notice, I'm standing behind the bench, so I'm able to spot him whenever you feel like you need me to spot him. So if I need to spot him, I'll either spot him on the bar or I'll spot him at his elbows. All right, guys, that's it.
Revolutionary, front line standing, solitary, mind state, kinda scary. Take a deep breath. Take a deep breath and put me on the front line. 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 Hold strong. I'm battle tested. Hold strong.
The exercise that we're about to demonstrate right now is flat bench press using the barbell. So the muscle that we'll be targeting on this exercise, it will be pectoralis major, the anterior deltoid, and the tricep brachii, right? So the joints involved in this exercise, it will be the shoulder joint, the elbow, and the scapula. So our safety tip, it will be monitoring the spine, right? He has to retract his scapulars when he's lying on the bench, so he can be safe at all times, so protect his shoulders. All right, so we'll be demonstrating this exercise right now, so he will give us 10 of his best. All right, let's go. Okay, let's start. Easy. 1. So as you notice, I'm standing behind the bench, right? So whenever you need assistance, you need me to spot him, I'm right here. I'm not far from him. So whenever I need to spot him, I will either spot him on the bar or I will spot at his elbows, right? So as you notice, he's not having his arms wide open, right? He's having his arms at 45 degrees, right? So he doesn't rip his shoulders off whenever he goes up or down, right? So he's trying to be safe on this exercise by all means. So he is doing the exercise slowly, as slow as possible, right? He doesn't just rock the bar and move as fast as possible. So he's trying to be slow on this exercise, so he's able to actually maximize the muscle contraction through the exercise. All right, so this is how it's done, guys. Okay guys, so the exercise that we are about to do now, it will be the chin-ups, right? Using this machine. So the muscle that we are trying to target, it will be the latissimus dorsi, the posterior deltoid, the trapezius muscle, the bicep brachii, and the rhomboid. So the joint that will be involved in this exercise, it will be the shoulder joint, the elbow joint, and the scapula. So our safety tip, it will be to monitor the spine, the positioning of the spine and the pelvis. So the movement, it will be going up and down on this bar. So I will tell the bull to give us the 10 of his best. All right, let's get it. All right, give us 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Thank you. All right, perfect. it. Alright, so as you can see that the bull is not rocking back and forth when he's going on this, and then he doesn't let his body to hang loose on this. He doesn't just let this drop his body all the way down. So he controls the body up and down at all times. So this is it, guys. That's how it's done. Okay, so the exercise that we are about to do right now, it will be the dumbbell hammer curl, right? So the muscle that we're trying to target with this exercise, it will be the bicep brachii, the brachialis, and the brachioradialis. So the joint involved in this exercise, it will be our elbow joint. So our safety tips, it will be to monitor the spine, right? And then our movement, it will be the flexion of the elbow and extension. So the muscle contraction involved, it will be the eccentric muscle contraction when we're going down and the concentric muscle contraction when we're going up. So this is how we do this exercise. So I'll tell the bull to demonstrate it with 10 reps. All right, let's do this. All right, let's go. Give us 10. 1, 2, 3, 10. All right, well done. Put it down. So you've noticed that when he's doing this exercise, his arms are right next to him, right? They're not moving back and forth, like he's not rocking the weight when he's doing this exercise. So that's his safety tip. So he has to keep his arms right beside him at all times when he moves, right? When he exercises. So he has to breathe chest out at all times. Stay confident.
Woke up, told myself to push and never stop. I've been stressed out, watching both these hands around the clock. With my eyes wide, trying to get the panorama shot. Whole world getting blurry to me, answers getting lost. So I watch my back and keep it moving to the front. And remember that the world's yours, do it how you want. You've been waiting here for too long, think it's time for you to...
So our next exercise will be the leg extension. So the muscle that we are trying to target with this exercise, it will be the vastus lateralis, the rectus femoris, the vastus medialis, and the vastus intermedius. So the joints involved, it will be the knee joint, right? So our safety tip, it will be to monitor the knee flexion and extension, right? So you will be sitting flush into the bench, right? So then when we start this exercise, that is it, all right? So the muscle, it will be the contraction and extension of the muscles. So let's demonstrate this exercise and let's see how it looks when it's in motion. All right, so here's what we're gonna do. I'll tell the bull to take a seat. All right, sit flush on the bench. Okay, he will give us 10 reps. So I want you to see the muscles that he's working meanwhile he's doing this exercise. All right, give us 10 reps. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8, 9, 10. Easy. So you noticed that whenever he's extending his legs, he's not overextending them, and he's getting the full range of motion on this exercise. So this is how it's done, guys. Thank you. Okay, our exercise, it will be the barbell front raises. Right? So the muscle that we're trying to target, with this exercise, it will be the interior deltoids. So the joints involved, it will be the elbow joint. So our safety tips, it will be to keep our core engaged at all times. So what we're going to be doing, the movement when we're doing this exercise, it will be the adduction when you're bringing the barbell downwards, right? So the muscle contraction is eccentric muscle contraction when we're going downwards, and concentric muscle contraction when we're going upward. All right, so let's demonstrate the exercise with the boom. All right, so we're gonna do 10 reps of these exercises. All right, first rep, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Feeling like I'm back, man, fighting like my last chance. This Gotham City, you could go and call me Batman. I roam the night, saving holes to the enemy. Louis Bellamont could pay a couple of utility. You see what time it is? It's on the back wall.
Okay, easy, slow it down. All right, so as you notice, whenever he's lifting this, he's trying not to lift the barbell all the way up, all the way past the shoulder height, right? So that's our safety tip. Thank you. So this is the end of our workout, and at the end of the workout we're about to do our warm downs. So we're gonna cool down first. We're gonna hit the push-up with 20 reps of push-ups, and then we will go to the squats, and then we're gonna do 20 reps of the squats also, free weight, just the body weight squats. All right, so let's begin with the push-up. 20 reps, I'll be counting. All right, easy. Perfectly executed. So now we're gonna do the 20 reps of squats. All right, let's go on. All right, easy. Done, perfectly done. So now we're about to go for the stretching. We're first gonna stretch our quadricep. I'll show you guys how it's done, and then we will stretch our hammies, and then we'll call it a day. All right, let's stretch first this side of the leg. All right. So we stretched our quads. So now we have to go on and stretch our hammies. So we'll know that we're done with the legs. Since we did the push-up as our upper body, and then we go for our legs. We did the quadricep stretch. So we're gonna do the hammy stretch, all right? So I want you to stand like this. Keep your body a little bit upright. So just place your fingers on your toes. Make sure you're feeling the stretch. All right, 1. So there is it, stretched our hammies. So now the bull, I will let him observe what I am doing, and then he will do it, he will continue to do it with me also. Alright, I need you to put your knee down like this, this leg forward. Alright, I need you to lean slightly to the front, and then you can feel the pull on your hip, and then your quadricep. And just bend it low, and then I'll count until 10 also. 1.
I swear, stand out guy, him don't need no chair. Well, where the fuck him at? Cause nigga, I'm right here. I don't shop at the mall, all y'all just dumb motherfucker. I'm a goddamn artist. You can give me some markers and I draw you a closet, and you know that this golf bitch gonna make the deposit. Nigga fresh to death like he got dressed in a coffin. Cons overalls and a striped shirt. The boy drip swag like a broken faucet. It's running, nigga, I'm running. Shit, that cherry be the bomb like he ran in Boston. Won't stop to the.
Now I need you to sit. Just sit back. Right. Put one leg to the front, just keep it straight. Bring this one in and then just hug it. Alright? Just hug it close. Yes. Keep your back up, right? Straight. Alright, keep your foot down.
One nigga jiggy and the other awesome with his fucking face blown off, that's how they found him. This young T. Who that boy? Who him is? Who that boy? Who him is? Nigga, who that boy? Who him is? Who them boys? Nigga, who them is? Nigga.
Why you niggas feel like that? Man, cause a nigga neck shit like that. Man, cause a nigga push real like that. Why you putting bad vibes in the air like that? Nigga, who them boys? Nigga, who them is? Who else step in this bitch this jig? Who else your bitch say got a big this big? Who else came through with a wrist this flick? Nigga, guess my pants, do my dance. Spin around, bitch, you can kiss my ass. Never seen a nigga in this much rad. Still doing math when I miss my class. Was it summertime, 06, at the number 9. Nigga, never mind, wasn't never time before Benz. With the Gucci Botis, with the Letterman. Nigga, dollar sign was my favorite number at the time. Freshman till they skip my ass.
Alright, this is it, folks. So we're done with our warm down. We cool down, stretched. So this is it for our video. Remember, keep on learning and stay home. Alright.